What is happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel. On this segment, let's talk about Jorge Masvidal's realistic odds as far as beating Gilbert Burns right now. What are the obstacles he's facing? What's going for him? What's going against him? Let's get into it. So I did a breakdown for this fight, a hypothetical breakdown way back. Honestly, I don't remember who I picked, but thinking of it now, I think I picked Gilbert Burns to win. But, and I've said this before, opinions change, new factors are in place, you got to rethink things in fights, so I may actually go back and do a updated detailed breakdown. This one's going to kind of be more of a rant. So what are Jorge's odds as far as beating Gilbert Burns? Well, I'm not going to say zero, I'll tell you that. I'm reading a lot of comments out there, guys think that Jorge has zero chance against Gilbert Burns. Personally, to me, I think that's off. If you look at who Jorge's been losing to, he's losing to the very best in the division. That's not an exaggeration either. Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman. The best at the time. He's had a long layoff. I mean, that's going against him for sure. Gilbert has been more active, fighting stiff competition. So that's going for Gilbert Burns. In some ways, I can see how Gilbert Burns' style is problematic for Jorge, and at the same time kind of works for him. I'm going to tell you what works for Masvidal. Gilbert Burns likes to bang. He likes to exchange. He's aggressive. He takes chances. He takes risks. And when you do that, you leave yourself open. You leave yourself open to getting caught and knocked out. What's Masvidal's specialty? Standing and trading. He's predominantly a striker, a tricky and crafty one. So if Gilbert Burns comes out guns blazing against Jorge Masvidal, throwing overhands, haymakers, trying to get him out of there, if Gilbert underestimates his ability standing, if he overestimates the ring rust, Gilbert might wind up on his back looking up at those arena lights. I do think ring rust is going to play a factor in this fight. Although it depends on the fighter, it's different with every guy. A lot of professionals believe as long as you work hard in the gym, as long as you simulate real fights as close as possible, you'll be alright. I actually agree with that sentiment, but there is a difference between fight day and hard sparring gym fights. So it's weird. On one hand, I do believe in ring rust. On the other hand, I think it could be overcome with simulated fights in a gym. I think Jorge's defensive wrestling is actually very underrated by the general public. He's not an easy guy to take down. He's not an easy guy to hold down or control. Now, who's jiu-jitsu? Pure jiu-jitsu is better, Gilbert Burns or Jorge Masvidal? In straight BJJ, of course, Gilbert Burns. In mixed martial arts, yes, I would say Gilbert Burns as well. But in an MMA fight, things kind of balance out a little more. There's so much going on in an actual free-form, open fight. I mean, MMA is as open as it could be, being a sport where you use all your tools. So with the striking, the wrestling, everything that makes up a mixed martial arts match balances things out with the jiu-jitsu a little bit. You have to remember, Jorge Masvidal hung with Demian Maia. Most of that fight on the ground, Demian Maia backpacking him. Jorge didn't get submitted. His defensive BJJ underrated, his defensive wrestling underrated. Gilbert may actually have a hard time taking Jorge down and holding him down to implement his BJJ advantage. Do I think Jorge's going to submit Gilbert? No. Do I think Jorge's going to out BJJ him? No. Do I think it's possible Jorge could out wrestle Gilbert? Yes. So what happens if Gilbert Burns can't get the fight to the mat? At that point, that's pretty much a 50-50 fight standing. Technically, I think Jorge's better than Burns. I think he's trickier. I think he's more seasoned. I think he offers more on the feet. Who has more raw knockout power? I'm going to give the edge to Gilbert Burns. But Masvidal is no slouch in the striking power as well. He could put you out with punches, knees, kicks, elbows, you name it. Cardio and conditioning, for me, Gilbert Burns. But once again, I think the cardio and conditioning of Jorge Masvidal is underrated. You have to look at the pace of the fights that he's in, that he looks like he's getting tired. They're non-stop. They're go, go, go. Action, striking, scrambling, wrestling. Anybody would get tired. Jorge doesn't fight safe. Colby Covington was very smart, implementing like a 80% wrestling style against Jorge, completely draining him and wearing him out. Grappling and wrestling tires you out like nothing else. I always say this for the people that are listening that have zero experience in wrestling or grappling, and you think you have great cardio, if you join a grappling gym, BJJ wrestling, or mixed martial arts, roll on the mats. Within a minute or two, if you're going with somebody that knows what they're doing and they're trying to push you, you will be puking. It is extremely taxing. And in my opinion, more so than striking. So superb game plan by Colby Covington. And if Gilbert Burns is smart, he's going to close the distance, rush Jorge, make Jorge grapple and wrestle. Because if he keeps doing that and it makes Jorge work, it's going to pay dividends later on in the fight. I think this fight is a 3-round fight, which actually benefits Masvidal. A 5-rounder I think would benefit Gilbert Burns. This is like almost turning into a breakdown video, an updated one. But I'm going to wrap up. I just want to say, I want to reiterate again that I think Masvidal is being vastly overlooked in this fight. There's this term and notion thrown out there. Jorge Masvidal is a journeyman. But by definition, that's not accurate. A journeyman doesn't fight for a title. Jorge has been a contender. He's been in the top 5. He's fought for a title multiple times. You can't overlook that guy, man. He is a super, super crafty vet. He's not an old man yet. I mean, he's up there. He's 38 from mixed martial arts. But he looks young. He's still explosive. And I don't think Father Time has caught up to him quite yet. He definitely still has another run in him. Who do I favor in this fight? As much as I like Masvidal, I mean, I'm going to be honest, Gilbert Burns. I favor him. But I wouldn't be shocked one bit, if Masvidal goes out there, makes a statement, beats the brakes off of Gilbert Burns, knocks him out. It shouldn't be a shock to anyone. That guy's dangerous. I'm going to put a ratio on it. And who knows, if I do a more detailed breakdown, I might even change my final pick. But right now, this moment, today, I'm going with Gilbert Burns 60-40. That's close. You can't underestimate a savage and a dog like Jorge. Guys, let me know in the comment section, how do you feel about this fight? Do you think Jorge's going to be straight up steamrolled? And there's a difference between being absolutely dominated in a fight and being just knocked out, caught. There's many ways this fight could go. Do you think Jorge has no chance against Burns? Do you think he has a good chance? Do you think he's going to flat out win? What about the style matchup? I want to read it all. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you watching the video. Appreciate the support. I really do. Until the next segment, everyone take care. Stay safe. Later.